Quick midweek update. Yesterday, we built around Josh Allen with Keon Coleman and Juwan Johnson as stack pieces, plus Devon Chain in the flex and the Chargers defense. Here is what we are changing and what we are holding based on updated projections, ownership movement, and the latest reporting. At quarterback, we are moving our primary build to Jacoby Brissett at 5,800. Dash rank 100, projected at 17, about 11% owned, and he draws Tampa Bay, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 25. The recent production is steady at 22, 27, and 21, with 18 fantasy points per game, and the salary gives us leverage to fit two premium skill players. This pivot is news-driven. The Cardinals placed Kyler Murray on injured reserve and named Brissett QB1 for the foreseeable future, per multiple reports. And essentially, sports detailed the financial angle in Cardinals' face 60M dilemma, as Kyler Murray's injury keeps Jacoby Brissett in control. That clarity at quarterback plus the soft overall matchup is why we are prioritizing Brissett today. We still like Josh Allen's ceiling, but given expected chalk and our desire to stack Arizona, Brissett becomes the better tournament construction for salary and correlation. Our value quarterback remains purely contingent. Mitchell Trubisky at 4,000 against Pittsburgh, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27. He will be virtually unowned. The projection is not reliable, and his last three fantasy lines are 0, 0, and 0. We only touch this if late-breaking depth chart news gives him a starting path. Otherwise, we pass. At running back, Devon Chain at 8,300 remains a core play just like yesterday. Dash rank 100, projected 23, about 50% owned, and he faces New Orleans, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 18. He averages 22 fantasy points per game with recent scores of 25, 44, and 17. The Y is unchanged, explosive efficiency with multi-touchdown upside. Reporting around the trade deadline noted real interest in a chain, but Miami held firm, which signals commitment to his role going forward, and his own comments about the organization this week reinforce that confidence. For value at running back, we keep Tyler Allgeier at 4,500 as a leverage piece. Projected at 6 with around 2% ownership, and he draws the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. The last 3 of 6, 10, and 18, and an 8-point per game baseline make him viable salary relief and leverage off Bijan in tournaments. At wide receiver, we are elevating Nico Collins at 6,700 into the core. Dash rank 100, projected 15, ownership around 9%, and he faces Indianapolis, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 17. He averages 15 per game, with recent scores of 9, 24, and 26, and he is priced at a sweet spot that lets us access his alpha target share without paying the absolute top tier. Earlier this season, national coverage, including a Week 12 preview, framed Collins as a DFS decision point in big Houston spots, and this matchup, plus his volatility profile, fits our ceiling hunting. We are downgrading Keon Coleman to a punt-only option. At 3,500 against Pittsburgh, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27, he projects for 3, with recent scores of 0, 0, and 14. Ownership should be near the minimum, and the recent criticism and benching talk noted in league coverage make him a classic buy-low tournament dart if you still build some Josh Allen stacks. But he is no longer in our primary build. At tight end, we are pivoting the core to Trey McBride at 7,800. Dash rank 100, projected 18, ownership around 15%. And he also gets Tampa Bay, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 25. He averages 19 per game and has posted 17, 31, and 31 in his last 3. The Y is twofold. He is the focal point of this passing game, and he correlates directly with Brissett in a favorable overall matchup. Essentially, Sports chronicled his 71-7-weight-7 line through 11 weeks and even the fine controversy, which underscores how consistently involved he has been. This is a ceiling stack we want to ride while pricing remains reachable. We keep Juwan Johnson as our value tight end. At 4,200, projected 10, with about 13% ownership, and facing Miami, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 23. He has delivered 11, 19, and 12 in his last three with an 11-point per game average. Coverage of the Saints under Kellen Moore keeps mentioning Johnson as part of the passing core, and that red zone trust plus game stack correlation with the chain makes him a strong bringback in Miami builds. In the flex, we are adding Travis Etienne Jr. at 6,500. Dash rank 100, projected 14, and he draws Tennessee, who have one of the worst defenses overall, with an opponent rank of 28. He averages 15 per game and has gone 21, 19, and 16 in his last three. Recent articles lumping him with Rashad White as steady high-level performers match what we are seeing on tape and in usage. With Achana projecting as heavy chalk, Etienne offers mid-tier leverage in a very favorable overall matchup without sacrificing ceiling. For a salary-saving flex, Joshua Palmer at 3,600 projects for 6 with about 9% ownership and faces Pittsburgh, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 27. He has posted 4, 4, and 0 in his last three with a 6-point per game baseline. He is a thin but viable one-off in large fields when you need savings at wide receiver in this matchup. On defense, we are rotating to the Seahawks at 3,900. Projected 9 with ownership around 5%, and they face Minnesota, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30. We are targeting pressure-driven upside and a matchup that supports sacks and short fields, and we prefer the ownership discount here as the field gravitates to yesterday's Chargers take. For a value defense, the Raiders at 2,500 project 6 with about 6% ownership against the Chargers, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. This is purely a salary unlock in a volatile divisional spot that can flip to turnovers. To summarize the changes from yesterday, we shift the core stack to Jacoby Brissett, with Trey McBride off the Kyler to IR and QB1 news. We keep a chain as a core ceiling play. We elevate Nico Collins as our primary WR, and we bring in Travis Etienne Jr. as a mid-tier flex leverage. We maintain Tyler Algier and Juwan Johnson as value anchors, keep Keon Coleman as a punt-only dart, and rotate defense to the Seahawks with the Raiders as value. The Y is a blend of improved clarity at quarterback, matchup-based leverage, and ownership dynamics backed by the latest reporting.